All right, Mike. Well, UFC 264 fight week. Conor McGregor's in all the headlines. I think perhaps on people's MMA bingo board, you were not the name that people thought would grace the MMA headlines this week, but you have. So some news came out last night, and I just kind of want to get your initial reaction. What are your thoughts, man? Did it keep you off guard as well?
No. First, let me address the first for the fight weekend. I think I have this connection with Dustin Poirier, to be honest with you. I fought on like one of his undercards back in like 2008. My upcoming the fight that I was supposed to have earlier this year was supposed to be on the Dustin Poirier under. I think it was the Dustin McGregor 2 card.
Yep.
And then it's fight week again, and boom, we doing it again. So I will give a shout out to Dustin Poirier and his hot sauce. If y'all haven't tried it, check out the Poirier's hot sauce.
It is very good, man.
It is, man. That's our guy. But as far as the news, I'm surprised that. Here's what I'm surprised about. I'm surprised it took this long. I actually have a theory, and you're because you broke the story, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so I have a theory about how you even got here. Can you explain it to me? And I just want to see if I'm right.
Okay. So I got tipped off that the ABC was recognizing your win as a no contest. So I contacted them. They said that was correct, and then I went.
But where did someone just volunteer the information?
Yeah, in my DMs.
Okay. Wow, that's random. Like, okay,
so
here's my theory but you already debunked it.
Yeah.
My theory was that with all the news going around about weed right now, with the whole legalization, I was just under there. I was like, I bet Nolan was like, let me see what fights have been affected by weed. And then obviously, like, that's a highlighted kind of anomaly of a fight that stood out, and that's why I thought you ran with it.
Yeah, no, it's
we
really weird.
We got people dropping dives, and coincidentally, I'm wearing the shirt, man. Can't trust anybody around here.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, no, it's weird, man. In my position, some of the best, like, most random tips I've ever gotten just from random people that are on Twitter and know something and checked out. And this is just to let you know that we weren't messing with you either with this, putting it on National MMA Marijuana Day yesterday was like, this was.
What, was it? Really?
No, just with Nevada's changing their rules and Nick Diaz is coming back and then your thing comes out. It's just, this is something that we were looking at for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I finally got that confirmation yesterday. So the story, came out, but you've known about this you seem like you and the commission were the only people that knew about this for like years, which I think
years. This is years old, right? So so I'm gonna tell you this story. This is what happened, right?
Okay.
So I still have it, right? Because I went and checked it out. I have the email over here. When was the fight? In June?
June 2018.
So in April, it was a little, let's say 6 weeks out, maybe 5 weeks out. I get an email from Jeff Nowitzki. He was like, hey, guys, if you're in the car, Illinois has like a zero tolerance policy for THC. So if you do smoke, you should probably stop now. And I'm like, I can't smoke for a month. But then I'm like, all right, I get to go out here. Like, it was just one of those things. For me, it's medicine, right? So I was like, all right, fine. It's whatever. So I stopped smoking for the whole I smoked like the night after the fight, right? I don't remember the time frame, to be honest with you. I want to say it was maybe like a few months goes by, and I get like a letter, was saying, hey, you failed the drug test because you had this amount of THC in your system, and the amount was it was a picogram of THC, and we all know the picograms is what, 50 million grains of salt, right? That's the size of a picogram. That's how much THC was in my system, right? And so I was like, what, y'all are really harassing me about this? And she's like, well, Illinois has a zero tolerance. So I smelled well, the USADA guy, Jeff Nowitzki, he sent us an email saying, stop. At that point, how are we supposed to know, you know what I'm saying, as athletes or whoever, how are we supposed to know this one small detail, especially when weed is legal in the state? So I say we stopped when he suggested it, and obviously it's going to be in there of some small trace, but y'all really going to harass me about this? And they was like, yeah, but, we just we got to do it. And I was like, at this point, I was like, all right, whatever. Because it's so much time ago. Actually, it may have been maybe a year. But so much time gone by. I was like, all right, whatever. And I thought something was going to come out about it. And nothing ever came out. So I was just like, all right, whatever. And then yesterday happened. And I was like, all right, it's like weed day or something. So,
yeah.
But I also feel like it's appropriate time, man, because we have so much going on in the world, right? And to have this still kind of looming, it's important to have these conversations, I feel, you know. So if I got to be me and Sha'Carri Richardson, the Olympian, and whoever got to be out in the front of this, then so be it. I'm down with the cause.
Yeah, and you talked about, you know, how there was such a small amount. I wish that the commission had dealt with me. They didn't respond to any of my calls, any of my emails. I had to go to, like, the branch of the government that they fall under, like the Department of Regulation or something. So I would have liked to hear from Nancy Ilg, I think her name is, the commissioner, and some of the other people there. They didn't want to tell me anything. So, yeah, like you said, I mean, this was years, and if a tree falls in the woods, you know, and nobody hears it on your end,
right?
You know, I wouldn't have come out and just announced it. So,
right.
When you got that news, were you bummed out? Like, was it well, did it demean your win at all? Like,
here's the thing. Look, this take, like, people on Instagram and they're look. First of all, I love the trolls, right? I thrive in a toxic environment just like y'all, right?
I saw you in those comments.
I'm better at it than y'all, by the way. But when you got people saying like, oh, you lost to CM Punk for whatever reason, right? I sent the dude to the hospital, right? But they're like, oh, you lost to CM Punk because of this. I'm like, wait. Like, this is your argument? Like, this is where you're basing your position on? Like, even like if that's your logic, when I tell you, y'all people, your lives and opinions don't matter, like, this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter. So it doesn't diminish it in any way. I think it's hilarious. It was a little hiccup because, you know, we're trying to get this fight with Dean Barry taken care of. Shout out to my guy Dean Barry. Got you a plug there. You know, we're trying to take care of this. And one of the instances actually was this came up. Like, I was still suspended apparently because of this, and like the UFC took care of it. But it's like was it like really
fines
weird.
Or something, or
you know, I don't think that. I would have remembered paying a fine because I love my money like that. Like, I would have remembered giving Illinois some money for some bullshit like that. I don't think there was, because I remember talking to the lady, and she was just kind of like real like, I'm sorry, we gotta like do this, but it's just what it is. And I don't think maybe there was, but I think I talked to her a little bit and I was like, yo, this is stupid, and she maybe like got rid of it for me. But I can't give these people no money, man. You know, they got state taxes in Illinois. I gave them like $2,000 off. I was like, ugh. And then this happens. I was like, y'all suck, Illinois. But hopefully they do better. You know what I'm saying? Because
this is a great time to talk to you about that as well. Because like yesterday, Nevada changed the rules, and I mean, I think there were some stories written about that memo you guys got ahead of that event, even saying that it was kind of. There was a couple articles I found that were saying that it was. The indication was the timeline. Even then, it seemed like it was a little over the top. It was a little antiquated, the ruling. So, I mean, is it kind of a bummer for somebody like you to like, you know, have this happen 2 years ago, and then yesterday, like, Nevada just snaps their fingers and they're like, yeah, this rule that, you know, we had forever, it's antiquated. It shouldn't be a rule, but it still is on your record. I know Nevada's a different state than where you fought, but a lot of them are falling in line. Like, Is it frustrating at all that it's just like a sign of the times? Like, it's going to be something people look back on and are like, that was dumb.
For sure. No, so I feel like I'm in a position, I'm sort of an anomaly, right? With everything that I do. And so I feel I'm in a position to sort of take the brunt force of this. Because for me, it doesn't mean anything, right? Like, yeah, okay, it changed a no contest. Like, we all know what happened, right? And we all know the position I'm in. But for everyone else where they're really trying to fight up the ranks and it's affecting like their purse and things like, actually, I take that back. Put a pin in that. I was upset because when we got the new contract for the Dean Barry fight, it was the same purse as the last one. And so I was like, yo, what happened? And it was like, well, technically they turned to a win, so it didn't get. So yeah, actually it did. It affected my money on the next purse. That's why I was upset. But for me, because in the position that I'm in, it's not so much. But for the other fighters who, again, it does affect their future purses and things like that. If I got to be the guy to talk about it and to speak out and fight for this change, I'm down for the cause. Because at the end of the day, to be honest with you, outside of missing out on a little bit of money on my next fight, I'm not losing nothing here. You know, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, and that suspension was only like 3 months, right? Wasn't that what they handed you?
Oh yeah, they did give me it. You know what? That's right. It wasn't a fine. They gave me a 3-month suspension. But the 3 months, that's what it was. So they must have hit me up like right at the end of the suspension. That's right. So like 3 months went by. And it was right at the end. And I was talking to the lady. And she was like, oh, well, we're already at the 3 months. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, because I think the document we got, you guys had all signed something in like October. And it was like it was already over at that point. So that timeline definitely adds up there.
Like, it's silly, man. Like the whole thing is crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, you just mentioned like the UFC was aware of this. Were they aware of it up until recently? Like, did they know? Because we didn't get comment from Punk, but kind of hearing through the grapevine, he had no idea that this had happened. And so when he discussed briefly with the UFC as well, some people seemed not aware, but it might have been more of the people he reached out to might not have been the people that would have dealt with this sort of issue. So the UFC was aware of this, like, this whole time, right?
I maybe not in the beginning, but they were aware of it at the point we were scheduling the upcoming fight.
That's what I was curious about. Yeah.
I would. So at that point, but again, at that point, this was year. At that point, it was years ago. It's like, what are we doing, guys?
Well, that's my train of thinking was like, this won't affect you going forward. Like, you're still gonna have hopefully that fight with Dean Barry. Like, it doesn't hurt your chances that this news came out at all, right?
Oh no, not at all, not at all. Because again, it was the whole thing is so stupid. But I do have a question. You said that Punk's people were made aware of it, and well, this is how they became aware of it. Is what you're saying?
Correct.
Oh wow, all right.
Yeah.
But even that doesn't matter though. Like, he knows what happened too. So if they be like, oh, they changed it to a no con, like, why would he would? But he's not the guy who's gonna celebrate that.
No, he didn't seem to really. From my understanding, he doesn't seem to really care.
And because it like, none of it matters. Like, none of this matters from my side, and none of it matters for his side. It really just apparently it matters to UFC fans who want to bicker online, I guess. I mean, but again, if they want to spend their energy on this, I mean, cool. I'm watching UFC 264 and getting ready for 265 when Derek Lewis gets the title, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is the status with you in the UFC? I mean, Dean Barry's visa was having some ishes, and I thought he wrote something that it got cleared up. Like, I would have thought Houston would have been the card that they would have put you on.
Well, so we were scheduled to fight January. So here's the tricky thing about that one, right? Initially it was like, oh, it's going to be in Vegas. I was like, cool, I'm down. And here's another thing. I never wanted to go to Fight Island anyway. That's a whole other story in itself. So a few weeks out, they were like, hey, it's going to be on Fight Island. And I was like, damn, I lost my passport, so I had to go get another passport. That it just didn't get cleared in time. So like, all right, we're going to do it May in Vegas. So like, cool. Then the whole pandemic, the quarantine with the visas because he's coming from Ireland. So that nixed that. They were trying to find me a replacement. They found a replacement. I wasn't in the proper condition to accept that. So I was like, no, not to that guy. And then that was a funny little time too, because we had some guys that, and I want to bring this up real quick. You had some guys who were like respectful in a way, like Dean Bear, right? When Dean got the news, he hit me up, and we kind of made that in the DMs, right? Cool. That's why I like my guy. He's a cool cat. But there was this one kid, and the crazy, like, I like to train out at his gym when I go out to Denver, but it was one kid who, like, I woke up one morning and he was just like, Mike Jackson, why you ducking me, and accept the fight and sign the contract. And I'm like trying to get sleep out my eye. I'm like, what is this kid talking about? I'm checking my texts, checking my emails for Sean correspondence, and nothing. So I kind of blew it off. Next day, his people reached out like, yo, Mike, like, sorry about that. We just, we trying to get our guy in. And look, I respect that, right? Like, if that's what you're trying to do, cool, right? But why come at me the way that you came at me? And here's the other thing, is like the people, like if you're outside the UFC, people talk shit about me, right? Oh, you shouldn't be there. He sucked this, that, and the other, right? But the people outside the UFC, they want the position and they want to fight me. But why fight me? Like, if you're trying to be in the UFC, why aren't you looking to fight the best? I see guys, my guys like Adrian Yanez, right? He's killing the game right now. He's looking to fight top-tier competition. I'd even give a shout-out to Mickey Gall when he was doing his thing. He's calling out, what was the Jamaican kid?
Randy Brown.
Called out, like, he fought Carlos Condit or what was the other cat he fought? Big name? Like, he's calling out big-name fighters, right? Why are you calling me out?
Right.
Like, you should get to fight me. And they like, hey, you're fighting Mike Jackson. You're like, well, shit, all right, I guess I'm fighting Mike Jackson. Like, that's what should be your mindset. Not like, yo, I want to fight you to get into the UFC. Like, what do you think is following me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, y'all, and again, that's from their perspective. My perspective is I'm good to go. And I'm going to fight whoever is right there with me, right? That's my perspective. But from your perspective, you're looking at me here and everybody else here. Why would you want to fight me? Like, you want that much of an easy win and then you're going to go up to this next level killer who's going to rip your head off? Like, it makes no sense to me. But that's cool, kind of what happened. But then Dean, shout out to my guy again. He hits me back. And he you know what? He takes care of me. He gives me some solid info. But now he has his visa in hand, so hopefully soon.
Yeah.
But to the point of your Houston thing, he just got his visa, and to me, I think they were matching this card, a while out, and it's already a full card, and I don't feel there was room by this because they're already matching fights in like September, October right now, Right. So it was just timing to be on it.
So fingers crossed by the end of the year we'll see you back, right?
Dog, and what hit me? I wasn't gonna share this in like fight week, right? But this is a big moment for me outside of that. Like with this upcoming fight, I will have now fought in 3 different decades.
That's crazy.
Shit's dope.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's just dope.
People can say whatever they want, but that's an accomplishment within itself. And
you know what I'm saying? It's cool, man. I started this shit in 2008, and we still rocking.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you clearing everything up. Appreciate you shedding some light on the future as well, Mike. Good luck with everything, man. Whether we see you back in a couple months, in a couple weeks, by the end of the year.
Get it.
Good luck with everything.
Appreciate it, my guy.